Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I accidentally was posting to live on YouTube, which brings me to my wonderful announcement. And you guys, I'm so excited about this. Julie is partnering up with Melissa Phillips, and once a month they are going to be doing a live demo. Melissa's going to show us how she makes all of those gorgeous cards, and it will be on our YouTube channel. So if you were watching YouTube, sorry about that. Now we're switching over to Facebook. So anyway, I have the card that she did this past week. I went on and watched the replay on YouTube and followed along with Melissa and made this gorgeous card. So I can't wait to show it to you. So be on the lookout on social media. Julie will try to post a week or two in advance before Melissa does her live on the YouTube channel to give you all of the materials that you would need if you want to make that particular card that she's going to be doing live on YouTube. So, having said that, my theme of the week is Summer Sunrise, which is our beautiful cardstock and ink color that is that deep, rich, yellowish orange gold. It's such a pretty color, and depending on how much ink you put on there, it gets deeper and deeper, which is beautiful. So let's go ahead and take it down the table, and I'll show you those cards and some inlays that I did and some fun. So let's take a look down at the table. And I'm going to make sure that we are live. And we are. Yay, team. And I'm sharing it to my page so I can see some comments. Okie doke. So, first things first is the YouTube channel card that Melissa did. Isn't that just the cutest? So go over to the Paper Tray Ink YouTube channel and you'll be able to find Melissa's demonstration on how to make this card, which is so pretty. If you want a heads up on materials, she used the So Tweet little birds. There are two birds on there that you could use and the corresponding die. So if you don't have that, this is such a cute set. You'll want to grab that. And then the stencil, you guys know how much I love stencils right now. And that is one of our latest ones, the Wandering Petals stencil collection, which is great. And then that cute little flower pot. And she used some colors that really surprised me. Melonberry. She used melonberry on the terracotta pot, and see how much darker that top part is, and I forget what the other color was she used on that, so but you can get all that information from her. And then the pot is from the Perfectly Potted die collection, and then you get these grasses and some greenery. So it's super fun. All right, so that is that. Now back to Summer Sunrise. This is, I love tone on tone, you guys. Summer Sunrise used a stencil again, and let's surprise you with holiday berries. You don't have to go in there and put in red berries for Christmas. Just that tone on tone gives you that greenery, the pine look on the background, and just makes a really nice backdrop for that dark chocolate cardstock, which I double layered here with our, here we go, Love to Layer Playful Scallops. I love that die set. It's just a really pretty. The stitch marking in there with the scallops is really pretty. And then our cute little squirrel. I just love him. He's so cute. And then staying with these colors, this is Pine Feather and Ripe Avocado. And then I brought that Ripe Avocado into my banner with Olive Twist as my accent color there. And then Thankful for All Life's Little Blessings. Now here's the surprise. Isn't that fun? Could you see the pop-up? I just love it. And those pumpkins are adorable. And this is from an older stamp set. This is from Just Sentiments Happy Fall. You get 6 different little sayings to put inside or outside of your card, however you want to do that. And this says, "You are the pumpkin to my spice." And right now I'm all about pumpkin spice. You either love it or hate it, and I'm obsessed. So that will be on the inside. and mounted, pulling those colors into the inside. The dark chocolate cardstock brings that right in. And then last but not least is
it is
copper
minute
shimmer
here.
paper. You guys, that is such a pretty paper. And I'm going to try to turn this so that you can see. Could you see those little score marks that are behind the hope? It adds that little extra touch of
Yeah, because what you're
texture.
hearing
It's
on
so
the
easy to do. Make your center score and then just
what you'll see.
make a little tick mark at each one of your scores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you do the opposite of this way and you go side to side to get that scoring line, which turns out really pretty as a nice accent. And then this die, which I had not used yet, is so pretty. It's the Elegant Edges full bloom. So many things, like you could just use it as an accent piece. You could cut it out of a different color, lay it on top of your card. I actually used all 3 of the pieces and cut it out and made it a standalone like motif, and then inlaid ripe avocado and summer sunrise. And it just, I don't know if this really gives it, if you could see this in person, it turned out really stunning. I am so in love with the way this turned out. And then, of course, the hope is from our Line It Up dies, the Line It Up Faith, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. There's 3 different fonts of faith, and then love and hope. And that's a very nice accent piece as well. So I believe that is all I had. Oh, if you wanted to get the Just Sentiments Happy Fall, that is item 1314, and it's $4.75. And they're cute little sayings there. Oh, the flowers that I used in Melissa's card, I didn't have the daisies, so I looked through my stash, because you know we all have that stash of florals that we use all the time, and it's Wildflower Fields, and that number is, the stamp set is 1487, and it's $22.80. The corresponding die is PTI 0596, and that's also $22.80. And it's 2 sheets, and they're just fun little florals that you could use and are perfect for that pot. So, oh, and the card kit is out there in the mail. If you don't have it, it's on its way. And Julie's working on those videos so you can craft along with that. And look, here's the first one. I just love this. I got mine early, so I've been playing with it, but this is the one that Julie did this week. And so you'll be seeing that video coming up really soon. All right, and that's all I had for today. So let's take it over to Susie. There she is.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
sorry. Hello. So I'm on location as per usual.
You just are all over. Oh, I love those leaves. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. Now, which way up am I?
90 degrees to the, nope, the other way.
The other way. It's always the other way.
There we go. There we go. Perfect.
Are we good? We're good.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, so it's obviously it's fall or autumn if you're in Europe. So, and I love this time of year. I love the colours, and over here our seasons have worked themselves out a bit more, and we've got the colours coming out, going from the greens to the reds to the yellows, etc. And I thought I would share just such a simple technique to use with layered dies, and it doesn't matter what shape, but because it is fall, I thought I'd use the maple leaf. And there's an inking technique, so I'm going to show you this, but it's actually a twofer, which I know you love, Phyllis.
I do.
Yeah, so we're going to make this, and then I'm going to show you what you do as the twofer. So we're going to start by creating our inked background. So because I am on location, I have done a fair bit ahead of schedule. So I've got a 6-inch square base card. I've cut a brown piece that is at 5 3/4 inches that is going to go on there, and then I've cut a white piece that is at 5 1/2 inches square. And we're going to use, now the stamp set I'm using is Leave It To Me, which has got dies. You can see, as we always do, we cut more than we need, put them in there, and then you've got them. But what I'm going to use is, I just want to use the corresponding leaf shape to my die, if I can get it out. I've just got so many already cut in there that it's a bit of a tight squeeze. So this is the one I'm going to use, and you have the solid, no, this is the one I'm using, solids as well as your veining. So I'm just going to get this out and we're going to stamp it. Now I've already chosen the colours that I want, so I've got 3 squares. They're all exactly the same size, but I've got this graduating tone from that sort of cherry red down to the sort of dull sunshine yellow. So I'm using the corresponding colours of ink as near as I could get them from our set, and I'm going to start with Americana, which I have to be honest isn't one I use that often.
I was just going to say, I love that color, but I don't use it that often either.
No, but it's a really good one for this time of year, for harvest and for fall. So I've inked up and I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to take a secondary stamp. Now when you secondary stamp, obviously this part of my stamp I haven't touched, so if I want to make sure I avoid using that, because I'm going to get a line otherwise. Now if I'm lucky, if I on it, I might get a third bit. Yeah, look at that. Might even get a fourth. Not quite. So that's got my browns going on. I might do one more set of the brown actually. So we'll ink up. I'm only going to do not as much ink as this time, and I'm going to start it off here. And when you're inking edges, because this most of it's going to be covered up, just make sure that you're not filling it too much with one colour. Do vary it a bit, because otherwise it will just look a bit blocky and not the same. So I'm going to clean that off. The next colour I'm going to bring in is Honey Nut, which I think is a really nice ochre yellow.
Yes. I tend to use quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a really lovely one, all year round actually. So again, I'm going to bring this in. And for autumn or fall, it's a really good, rich yellow. And we're just going to fill in a few of the gaps. And then the final colour I've got is Harvest Gold. And I love this edging inking technique because we're not going to see what happens in the middle. It doesn't matter, but equally you could do this as a surround and it would still work. So this is Harvest Gold. Now my Harvest Gold had a bit of an issue, as you can see. So it's not as juicy as it should be, which is great for this technique because I can overstamp without it overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so great when I want that true yellow colour. But it's fine. So I'm just adding this, and having different colours gives you that dimension as well. So it's always a good, good to cover it. So if I place these back on, you can see I've done enough to cover. I can see what's going on. Now, if you want to sort of mute it down, vintage it down, shabby chic it, whatever term you want to use, you could ink round the edge with whatever of the colours you wanted. Whilst I've got the inks on the go, I'm going to get my base card back and I'm just going to do a couple of stamps inside because I love continuing the theme from the outside to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to go back with my honey nut, and I'm going to put a bit of Americana at various points on that leaf as well. So I've sort of done a dual tone, and I'm just going to stamp
Oh, that's
across just to give that nod of fall on the inside as well.
pretty. Love that.
Doesn't need much, but it just gives a bit of an extra effort inside that, you know, finishes the card, brings it all together. Because that's the bit most people look at the longest, isn't it? Let's be honest. So that's all our inking done. So now we're going to do some die cutting. Now, when you've got layered frames, it doesn't matter what shape they are. This technique will work, and you can have as many layers as you like. But what you want to get is the biggest layer first, because that makes it the easiest. So that's going to be this paler yellow in my instance. And I want to find the halfway house. Now, because I'm on location, I've gone for what I've got in my sewing kit. Why wouldn't you?
It worked.
So exactly, we're at 4 3/4 inches. So I make that 2 3/8 is my halfway. So I'm going to mark that on every side. 2 3/8. So I'm finding the midway on each side. Now I'm doing this on the wrong side of my top layer. Oh gosh, bit of thing that's going live, and I'm sorry, I'm working at a wrong angle for you guys. Then what I'm going to do is just draw across there, and I'm doing all this in pencil, but it doesn't matter because this is on the underneath. No one's ever going to see this other than me, well, and you guys obviously, but so it doesn't really matter. But I would do whatever shape you choose, I would do this. So you want to find your midlines basically, because that's going to give you the positioning for your dies. So, and it doesn't matter about subsequent layers because we're going to use layered dies and they're all the same shape. We can, we only have to mark up one of these. So this is my biggest die. And I mean, it does help that I've chosen a maple leaf, which is fairly obvious which way around it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find the midpoint, which again is really obvious on this, and line it up as near to the center on everything as I can. Now, the other great thing about this maple leaf is what I also did was eyeball these side bits here so that I knew roughly with subsequent layers whereabouts I was aligning the central line.
Yeah.
So I could sort of get it in the right place. And I reckon we're not far off there. That'll do for me. So I've got some low tack tape that's going on, and I'm now going to run that through the Big Shot, which I have got next to me. And I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to see this, but if I bring this in as well, the camera is going to wobble like crazy. So let's not go there. Because let's face it, hotel rooms don't anticipate anyone doing a Facebook Live in them, do they? So I've cut my first layer. Keep the bit you cut out, and I'll show you why in a second. So that one can go away. Next layer down, next colour up. So I'm going to put that on top. Then I'm going to, whoops, try not to knot that. Line up the two bits of card so they're exactly in alignment. Bring in the next layer down, whatever it is, and line it up following you know, making sure the gap around everything is about the same. Get it where you want it to be. That looks good to me. I'm then going to grab a piece of low tack tape, put that on there so that's not going to move. Remove that piece that we've just done, and we're going to cut this one out. Oh, I'm sorry if you're wobbling. That's layer 2. So again, don't throw this bit away because I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a second. And last layer, so this time I tend to put all 3 layers together just to make sure it's all going to plan, like this. Bring in my smallest layer, and you can keep going. I mean, obviously I've only got 3 layers for this, but you can do as many as you like. Bring in my low tack tape, put that in, remove the 2 we've already die cut because we don't need to cut them again, and we'll cut this one. And the other thing I love about this, it is super quick. So if you need a quick card for any reason, these would make amazingly quick cards for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, if you wanted anything for the festive period or the holidays, because you could do this with a tree shape.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty.
Yeah, you could do it with just a square and then do a bow on the top, make it look like a gift.
Well, that's a cute idea.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a definitive shape. So one thing I need to do is find an eraser. Now that's going to be a big question in my life at this very second. Bear with me a minute. I can't remember where I've left my, or indeed if I've brought one with me. That would be a disaster. We might have to. It's all right. I've got enough pencils that I'm sure. Yeah, look at that. An eraser. So I'm just going to rub out that pencil line. One big advantage of doing it in pencil. And then we're ready to stick this card together. It's such a quick and easy card to do. And then I'll show you what you do with the other bits. So I've got my base card that we've already stamped the inside of. We're going to glue this down, and I had a glue here a second ago. There it is. Now what's the betting the glue's going to throw its toys out the pan and not work for me? Oh no. Quick, while it's working, let's get it glued down. So that gives me my base colour. Just lifts it off that white, gives it a bit of a backdrop.
A nice border around.
Absolutely. And if you didn't want to ink the background, do stencils. I mean, the stencil that you had, Phyllis, with the foliage one, is already a surround, so that would be a perfect one to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was just perfect. It was calling my name.
Exactly, yeah. Then we're going to put down our inked background.
Oh. That brown's just going to make everything up off the page.
Exactly, exactly. It's just, I always think a dark bottom matte layer,
yeah,
just frames everything beautifully.
Yeah,
really love that.
It's just gorgeous.
Exactly. Now the bottom layer, I always put down flat because I'm not sure how US postage works, but the UK postage is done on depth, weight, and size here.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to extend your mortgage to do any of those.
Yeah.
So whatever layer you can minimize, the better. So this layer I'm going down flat, And then before I put other layers on, we're going to do a message in the middle, which I always think is quite cute because it sort of focuses that tunnel.
Yes.
Now on my original, I'd put best wishes, but you can have this is a great chance for you to have a delve into your stash. There are so many. So big balloon sentiments is what I used for best wishes, but you can use whatever you want to. So with this one, I think I'm going to go happy birthday. Well, I quite like happy retirement for a full card. It seems a bit appropriate. Or thinking of you, anything. So I'm going to go happy retirement and put that on. And I've lost my stamp platform. Where have I put the stamp platform? Literally just had it.
Use the lid to your ink.
I'm going to have to.
You can't see
because
through.
I have no idea where it's gone. Now for this, I'm going to use dark chocolate because I wanted to keep the colour scheme without it being sort of, I thought black was too dark and too, not miserable, but didn't really fit. That is ridiculous. I know I had the stamp platform 10 seconds ago. Okay, I'm giving up now. So I'm going to use the Americana. So I can't see. That's I do. Oh,
Yeah,
I found it.
Oh,
There
good.
you go. We're all good. We're all good. Panic
I just
over.
diverted.
So this is dark chocolate, which I actually use quite a lot for stamping sentiments. That and Weather Vane
Yes.
are my favourites. So that's going to go roughly in the middle there, like that.
Yeah.
At a
Beautiful.
slight angle, but hey, it's Friday night. We're all good. And then we're going in with the other layers. Now, the other layers, this is where you have choices. You can either go flat and keep it completely flat, but I quite like having these layers slightly raised.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got foam tape and scissors. So I'm just going to run foam tape. Now, just remember, this is a bit of card. We're not doing a shaker card. So it's not vital that every single millimetre is covered. What we need it to do is enough to support the next layer up.
Right.
So you can use as much as you like, but just be mindful that you don't need to support everywhere. It doesn't have to be absolutely everything. Probably just need a bit there. Across there's fine. And probably across that bit there. Right, take the back off this. And because we'd already, when we die cut these, we layered them up, then, and they're all cut to the same size, layering and lining up should be relatively easy. But if you struggle with that, if you put a bit of wet glue and Pritt stick type wet glue, you know, the roller glues are better than this wet glue, but if you put a bit of wet glue over the top of your double-sided foam, then you've got wiggle time, as I like to call it. But I just concentrate on lining up the outer edge rather than lining up the inner edge. Oh. And you've already got that tunnel effect happening.
Yeah,
so we're going to do that again. You could put the third layer on flat, or you can tunnel it. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to tunnel it. You could have inked round all the edges. So if you've inked the edge of your base, then you could carry on and ink everywhere else. But I'm just going to put a bit of tape along these sides, just so we get that full tunnel effect. Just make sure you can't see the tape because that's not a great look. And foam tape on a roll is so much easier than lots of little squares, I have to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot less fussiness.
Absolutely. The day they started producing foam tape on a roll, I was so happy.
Yeah, I'm buying that by the bulk now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we use it as insulation around door frames and all sorts. It's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought.
if you don't take this side off, it sticks to the wood frame on the other side, but you've still got that cushioning and it stops drafts and all sorts.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, tell you. It's revolutionised the drafts in our house. There you go. So that's my third layer down.
Oh,
And we've finished our card. That's it, done.
oh, I mean, you can see the shadows even from here, which is awesome.
It's really good. And this one had got a textured card as well. So I promised I'd said it was a twofer. So I'll show you what you can do with the leftovers. So if you take your leftover elements, you can do such a quick and easy card. All I did was with each of the shapes, I took the corresponding coordinating ink. So for the yellow, it was Harvest Gold. I used Honey Nut on the slightly ochre coloured yellow, and I used Americana on the red. Inked around the edges. I just put a brown base card so they actually coordinate really well. So if you want to make a set for someone as a present, this is a really nice coordinating set.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And it gives, I put the big one down flat, stamped whatever greeting you want to. Again, I did it in dark chocolate. And then that one is on foam. And then the little red one, inked it, but put it on a foam pad as well. So you've got texture and dimension going on. And just did a couple of leaves inside. But for one set of die cutting, you get the two different cards. So quick and easy. You can do it with any of the love to layer sets, and we've got a lot of them, let's be honest. I mean, even with just simple circles or the ovals, the tags would look amazing around the festive period because you could put all sorts of dimensions in. You know, the little snowman where you've got the snowman head, you could have him peeping out from one of them. That would look really cool.
That'd be cute.
And the globe die, that would look really good, is the centre. So yeah, have a go at the tunnel nesting love to layers and see what you can come up with.
I love it. It's so pretty, and I love a twofer.
Exactly. Yeah.
In no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So next week, I am going to be camping. So we will be off next week.
Okay.
So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. So
fantastic. And that will be, for us, that's our last week of daylight saving time.
Oh, okay. And then the following.
We are ahead of you with it going back. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be in touch to make sure we stay on the same time schedule.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, it's always a nightmare. Always a nightmare.
Twice a year, we just like, whoa.
Yeah, what happened there? Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you. Take care.
Yes, definitely. You have a good rest of your weekend.
Yeah.
Location wherever you are.
Well, I'm in North London. And it's at a big knit and stitch show, and I'm working on the Janome sewing machine stand.
Wonderful.
So yeah, it's busy days, long days, but great fun. Met some lovely people. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
I love crafty people. They're sweethearts.
They are. Yes, very privileged to be working in this industry. It's
absolutely
amazing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my dear, and we will
take care. Yeah. Enjoy your camping.
I shall. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys. Love a twofer. And super easy. And as always, please post your ideas, your take on anything that I may have done or Susie did. and tag Paper Tray Ink so that we can see your creations. We love seeing all of your work. And like I said, I will be out next week, so we will see you in 2 weeks.